What if checking your email every single morning is the exact reason you are drowning in it? I know that sounds backwards, but stick with me for 30 seconds. I opened my inbox on a Tuesday in March and saw 1,000 unread emails staring back at me. Not spam. Real emails, client messages, newsletters, invoices, follow-ups, Slack digests, receipts, the whole chaos. I had been checking that inbox every day for months, and somehow it kept growing. So I stopped. Cold turkey. I handed my entire inbox to AI for 14 days and told it to handle everything. No filters set up in advance, no rules pre-written. I wanted to see what AI could actually do when it was thrown into the deep end. What I found completely changed how I think about productivity, and it exposed a myth that millions of professionals believe without ever questioning it. Here is the myth that almost every productivity guru, corporate trainer, and life coach will tell you without blinking. Staying on top of your email means checking it constantly. The more you check, the more in control you are. Inbox zero is the goal, and the way you get there is discipline, dedication, and daily effort. You have probably heard some version of this. Maybe you live by it. Maybe you feel guilty every time you close your laptop with 47 unread emails still sitting there. This myth has spawned an entire industry. Email management courses, morning routines built around inbox sweeps, browser extensions, color-coded labels. The whole system is built on one core assumption, that you, the human, need to be the one reading, sorting, and responding to every single message. That human attention is the only currency that clears an inbox. That is the myth. And it is costing you hours every single week. This myth survives because it feels logical on the surface. Email is communication. Communication requires understanding. Understanding requires a human brain, right? And there is history backing this up. For decades, there was literally no alternative. You had to read it yourself. So, entire generations of professionals built their workflows around manual inbox management. Then something interesting happened. Those workflows became identity. Checking email diligently became a signal of professionalism, of being someone who has their life together. And here is the really sneaky part. The anxiety of not checking actually reinforces the behavior. You skip a morning inbox sweep, and suddenly you are convinced you missed something critical. A deal, a deadline, an angry client. That fear is not irrational. It has happened before. So you go back to checking every single day. The myth is not just believed, it is emotionally protected, and that makes it almost impossible to question from the inside. But here's where the story starts to break down. I started tracking my own email habits using a Chrome extension called Email Analytics back in February. The data was embarrassing. I was spending 2.1 hours per day on email. That is 14.7 hours a week, almost 2 full workdays, every single week. And here is the kicker. When I went back and audited what I actually responded to, only 11% of my emails required a same-day reply. 11%. The other 89% were either informational, could wait 48 hours, or needed zero response at all. I was spending nearly 15 hours a week managing a problem that 89% did not urgently need me. And I am not alone. A 2023 McKinsey report found that the average professional spends 28% of their work week reading and answering emails. 28%. That is not productivity. That is a tax. A hidden daily tax on your actual work. And I had been paying it without even realizing. So I ran the experiment. 14 days, 1,000 emails to start, AI in full control. Here is exactly what I tested and what the numbers showed. By day 3, the AI had categorized all 1,000 emails into 6 buckets: urgent responses needed, newsletters, receipts and invoices, follow-ups I owed, FYI threads requiring no action, and spam masquerading as legitimate email. That last category alone was 214 emails. 214 emails I would have at least glanced at. Each one stealing maybe 8 seconds of attention. That is 28 minutes of my life returned in one afternoon. By day 7, response drafts were being generated for 73% of the emails that needed replies. Not sent, drafted. I reviewed and approved. My active email time dropped from 2.1 hours daily to 22 minutes. 22 minutes. And here is what surprised me most. I missed nothing critical. 0 deals fell through. 0 client relationships damaged. The urgency I had always felt around my inbox turned out to be almost entirely manufactured by the inbox itself. Here is what is actually going on beneath the surface. Your inbox is not a communication tool anymore. It is an attention extraction machine. Every email, good, bad, urgent, useless, arrives in the same format with the same visual weight. Your brain cannot pre-filter importance before you open it, so you open everything. Every notification is a tiny lever being pulled on your dopamine system. And the companies sending those emails know this. They are optimizing subject lines specifically to trigger your open reflex. AI does not have a dopamine system. It does not feel the anxiety of an unread badge. It does not wonder if that newsletter subject line about a critical update means something important. It reads for signal, not sensation. That is the actual advantage. It is not that AI is smarter than you about email. It is that AI is completely immune to the psychological traps your inbox is deliberately engineered to set. That immunity is worth 1.7 hours of your day, every single day. Now here is where it gets practical, and where I have to be honest about the exact tools I actually used in this experiment, because I got a lot of DMs asking. The stack I tested over those 14 days was 3 layers. Layer 1 was superhuman for smart inbox triage and AI-drafted replies. It reads your email patterns and learns which senders actually matter to you within about 72 hours. The accuracy was genuinely impressive by day 4. Layer 2 was SaneBox, which I had running simultaneously to pre-sort incoming mail before it even hit my main inbox. SaneBox alone removed 61% of incoming email from my primary view on day 1. No manual rules, it just learned. Layer 3 was a Zapier AI workflow I built in about 40 minutes. No coding. That automatically forwarded receipts to a Google Sheet, flagged client emails with a response urgency score, and sent me a daily digest summary instead of individual notifications. Combined? That is the system that got me to 22 minutes a day. And none of it required me to manually sort a single email after setup. Here is your exact action step for this week. Do not try to overhaul your entire inbox at once. That is how you give up on day 2. Instead, do this one thing today. Go to SaneBox and start a free trial. Link is in the description. Connect it to your existing email. Do not change a single other habit. Just let it run for 72 hours and check the Sane Later folder on day 3. What you find in that folder is every email your inbox has been force-feeding you that did not need your attention. Count them. Actually count the number. That number, multiplied by the 8 seconds of attention each one stole, is your starting baseline. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. From there, layer in Superhuman or the Zapier workflow I described. I have linked a step-by-step setup guide below for the exact Zapier automation I built. Give it 14 days, track your inbox time before and after, then come back and tell me what your number was. I genuinely want to know. If this experiment changed how you think about your inbox, even a little, hit like right now. It takes half a second, and it tells the algorithm this information is worth spreading. Subscribe if you want the follow-up video where I test AI on my entire calendar next. Same experiment format, same brutal honesty about what worked and what completely failed. And drop your current unread email count in the comments. No judgment. I started at 1,000. Some of you are going to absolutely destroy that number, and I want to see it. Links to every tool mentioned, Superhuman, SaneBox, and the Zapier workflow template are all in the description below. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only. AI results vary. Always verify AI-generated content before relying on it.